the most talented one of the bunch, as natural moves come so easily to him. When he's playing in flow, then he can be extremely dangerous. He misses nothing. But will that be the Magnus that shows up for these two games, or will it be the one that showed up for the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz, where he was not in flow at all? So far, though, you got to say, high level, definitely high level chess from both sides. This one, though, there will be mistakes. Don't blink. There'll be mistakes. The question is who catches what as the seconds tick down.
I have a second reason Magnus wanted this to go to Blitz. He could get his #1 Blitz ranking back.
Could he really? All right.
Yes, he's only a few points away from Hikaru Nakamura.
This time an English move order to perhaps get into a Catalan. Sorry, Jen, I just really wanted to ask you this question. How historic would it be if a Ding Liren were to make an upset of the world champion right here and now?
Wow, it would be an awesome upset, as it would give us a brand new Sinquefeld Cup champion, meaning that every Sol Victor would be independent, right? We'd have never had 2 Sol Victors, whereas Magnus winning would also be historic. It would mean that he'd won 3 of the 7 Sinquefeld Cups.
Also,
that's a pretty good percentage.
And also, he's never lost a tiebreak, so all that would come into play. Now, he has not won in the rapid portion, which is already a big bit of news. We'll see. Right now, they're in that Catalan-ish, but no longer true Catalan. The pawn will not get to d4 with ease, as c5 has already been put on the board.
Right. In this particular version, however, white usually aims for moves like a4 and knight a3 to c4. But Ding Liren very quickly put his knight to c3. I find that a bit puzzling. I would expect bishop e7, followed by quickly castles, rook b8 and b5, and that's a very well-known way for black of making equality. From white's point of view, white's looking to press with castles and d2, d4. Well, again, Ding Liren, one of the most experienced Catalan players. One of the things that Magnus might do is really change the entire character of the struggle by playing for e6, e5, a kind of a reverse Maruxi bind, if you will, to shut down white's attempts to get on d2, d4. And that's a very, very different game. We'll see what Magnus
Well, he isn't a tank, a big tank for a blitz game.
By the way, for a blitz
1
game,
minute and counting.
No, yeah. That's,
get out of rapid mode.
Yeah.
Get out of rapid mode and get into blitz mode, where your moves have to flow. This is a long time to be thinking. He's already down to 230 and change. Sorry, 330 in the opening.
That's extraordinary.
Remember the word I used before, and Magnus's favorite word, flow.
Yeah.
He wants to get in flow.
Queen
that
C7.
deep think is not a flow type move. It's up to, I think Ding Liren right now should just move. Like, next move.
Castle, get it
just
out.
Castle,
Yeah,
just
castle.
get it out. It's not rapid. Magnus's long think could somehow get you into the feeling that you have to think long as well. Both of them would get into that rapid, get inside that rapid thing, and he's playing d4
I was
instead.
about to say, I'm not a big fan of this move, queen c7. d4 is the most attractive move to my eyes, because the best thing to do, develop with gain of tempo, and bishop f4
Magnus
is a real
captured on d4.
And now bishop c5 quickly played.
Takes, knight takes. Bishop c5.
Knight b3.
I must say, I'm really double guessing a lot of Magnus's moves. And knight b3, by the way, because bishop f4, bishop f4 was on white's agenda. Bishop d6.
And then castles, but what is the bishop doing on d6? Yeah, you talked about biting on granite.
Yeah, well,
and rook d1, and suddenly threats are beginning to emerge on that d file. The bishop on g2 is fantastic. It's hard to unleash this, the pieces, unravel, I should say, the pieces for black. Magnus is now taking 2 pawns he's fiddling with at the moment. 250 to Ding Liren's 419 on the clock, and white's better.
No question. Well, rook d1, again, eyeballing this bishop on d6, and if he could, and he's forced the bishop to move. Magnus.
But how many times has that bishop moved, Jazz?
Right, c5, d6, e5.
Bishop e3 instantly played.
He's trying to keep that edge in the clock. Smart.
And he's doing it very well.
And good moves, too.
Good moves.
2-minute edge.
Developing his pieces, ready to play rook c1.
Yes.
Knight a4.
So hard to unravel your pieces here. You can't play b5 because of the pin. Rook c1 is ready to come into the position.
White's
And by the way,
harmonious.
this bishop on g2 really stopping the natural b5, bishop b7 for black. Magnus, he's
Big
really
trouble. Big trouble right
misplays
now.
badly. Now, for example, if you play rook b8, one of the things that white might do is simply play bishop a7, force the rook back to b8, then play bishop to d4, and leaving black to try to find a scheme of development.
And
for
bad
himself.
news,
Look how
guys,
much-
as you've been
Look how much
told.
time you've spent just discussing it, and he spent yet another minute, and he's
No
now under
way.
the 2-minute mark, under the 140 mark.
Yes.
Now, Magnus is in real trouble. He knows it, and he can't figure out what to do right now, and he looks frozen. Absolutely frozen in the position.
Magnus Carlsen is down almost 3 minutes in a worse position.
I think it's time to come up with one of those really splendid defensive combinations. Maybe bishop takes c3.
He still doesn't
followed
look
by
prepared to
knight
move, and
d5.
finally, knight d5.
I was about to say knight d5 with bishop c3, but he played knight d5 at once. Please saying, okay, take my pawn, bishop takes d5. Magnus saying, okay, now I can see a way to development. Knight f6, bishop h3. Doubtlessly.
Oh no,
he's
there's
gonna-
a bishop c5 nasty shot in the position.
right here, right now.
Right now, bishop c5 blocking
Love it.
the line on the c file, so you can take knight d5 with tempo. You can't take knight d5 now because your queen's hanging.
Clear.
But by playing bishop c5, when knight takes, then knight takes on d5, and I can show it on the board here, bishop to c5, and if knight takes,
But not
He
played
didn't
by
play it.
but he didn't play
He
it. Knight
missed
takes
it.
d5. Look at this crushing position he would have had, and then the pawn just drops. It would have been big trouble for Magnus right here, but he did not see it. Bishop
That's a
c5 a
missed-
miss. He just developed his rook instead.
But
Missed
rook c1
opportunity.
and poor Magnus is going under 1 minute.
But I think this is what Magnus needs to now play: the move knight f6,
That's what he
knight
did?
takes d5, queen takes c2, rook takes c2, bishop f5. He gets to finally develop his queen
Yes,
side at the mere cost of a pawn.
That doesn't sound like you, yes.
And, yeah,
Best
but
bet
it-
now.
But it was
Best deal at the moment.
It was a great success for Magnus to bail out here, and actually, he's going to win his pawn back instant.
Oh no, rook d5.
No, he doesn't win his pawn back instantly. I beg your pardon. He still has to play bishop. Well, no, I can't. Why did he do?
c2.
Queen takes
Now the
c2.
bishop is hanging. It must move.
Oh, Magnus really gave, because he could have done this much better than this, right?
How?
Okay, just a
It
second.
didn't look possible, but here
let's keep
comes
on the game.
knight
Knight
c5.
c5.
We will look at it later. Right now, a full pawn, and that knight on c5 looks beautifully placed as well. Now that bishop on c8, that's going to be the only compensation that black has, and he's going to have to prove himself as rook e8 has been played. There he goes to try to trade. Oh, bishop takes knight's coming. Bishop takes knight is a
Another
serious
defensive
alert.
combination.
That's a we just saw this happen.
Yeah, exactly.
We just saw this exact thing happen, and
Magnus getting
So what
ready
should we do
for a
here?
bishop
there's
Should we
nothing to
move
do
the
about
knight?
it. You can't let the light square bishop leap into the game.
That's
So
going to be
Rook
problematic.
e5, rook e5, rook e5, f6, rook e3, king f7. He's
has
played
tried
it.
it.
started.
He's but f6 and king f7, and black is actually making progress. Thankfully for him, he's getting his king off the back rank.
He also has a bishop f5 tempo right now.
Right here, right now. But he's going for
to
king
bring your
f7.
king f7 into the game.
But
Maybe
what's the clock times
30
again?
seconds left for Magnus.
Oh, whoa, he can't. Now he's fiddling with a
and he's
queen in his
fiddling,
hand, and he's got 25 seconds left. He needs to put that piece away and
And
move.
he did go for bishop f5. Originally, he was reaching for his king, Jen. I thought we were going to see king f7, but he's played bishop f5. Oof.
There's a knight d3 opportunity though now. Knight d3, and don't give him this piece at all
Bishop
costs.
takes c5.
So
Stopping bishop.
stopping bishop c5.
Yeah,
Just back the
like
knight
it.
out. Allow this pin, but leave your extra pawn on the board. And
But you know, I got to say, the two bishops is going to be a compensation.
oh, definitely, we're clear on that.
Yeah.
But it's worse if you let him trade bishop takes knight.
Agreed.
That's just something you don't want on the board at all. At least stay up a pawn with the knight on the board.
By the way, this is remarkable that
He did not play it, and
that-
one more chance to play bishop takes on c5. And Magnus,
Oh,
Magnus
yeah.
give me that. Give me
Thank
that.
you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Let me get rid of this. Get to, pardon me, a bishops of opposite color position where I'm pretty sure I can save myself. Rook takes,
Oh, a
rook takes.
serious miss by Ding Loren to
I'm
let
going to
this
say
happen.
rook c8
Magnus now in business.
in terms of making a draw, as he's
Yes.
eyeballing rook c2.
E4 played, stopping that.
To stop rook c2, but now he gets to trade a pawn on the side there.
I just wish for Ding Loren's sake that he had a little bit more juice in this position, because it's not that easy to make moves with a 3-second delay. We've seen it
Exactly.
before. It's very tough.
And
I
there's
was about to
Magnus
say,
pushing that rook on the D line.
h5, get that pawn to h5, king f7, and
All right, but
now
at
you
least
just
there would be a
hang.
pass.
Now you just hang.
There'll be a pass e-pawn, though. I mean,
It's
it's
not
not
easy.
special.
No, you're not going to get a passed pawn. I'm going to go bishop e6, bishop c4, plant my pawn on b5, and, well, he did it actually the different way. He went b5 first. Plant the bishop on c4, and then say, you don't get a pass pawn. You don't get to play e4, e5, e6.
Why can't he play e4 and f4 and...
Well,
you mean he won't get to put the pawn on e6? is what you're saying.
No, never, never.
What about a pawn on f5? Can I get that and make you worry?
Well, if you can throw in f5 and rook f8 mate, I would be worried. But,
Just trying.
but e4, bishop c4, and now I've got rook d2 check and rook d3 harassing. Ooh, he's
What's
not
this?
afraid.
What's this?
g5 check, what is he doing? g5 check.
He's trying to
takes,
mark.
takes.
He's trying to march his
14
king
seconds.
into the position.
He's trying to make
Rook
Magnus
a7
beg.
check is a problem, but this.
That was weird. Magnus played rook d3 right away. He could have played g5,
Didn't
followed
have
by
time.
rook d3.
Didn't have time
Check.
to calculate the ramifications, so played rook back to d7, stopping rook a7.
14 seconds right now for Magnus.
He
But
will
Ding
be
Loren
playing
also
on the
going underneath a
increment.
minute.
King g6.
Whoa!
G4.
On the attack, and Magnus has to think about this.
No,
he
he's got
trades.
it. There's nothing to think about. He's got to take
But
that.
isn't h5 a mate and two threat?
No, no, no. You got to go king f7, king e6.
Correct.
King f7, king e6.
Don't go bishop e6.
Don't go bishop e6. Good advice, Jen.
10 seconds total time for Magnus right
But
now.
now g5 or e5.
Uh-oh, this is looking like small
Ooh,
progress
check.
for Ding Loren for
Ooh,
sure.
The threat of mate forces rook f8, rook d5 check.
And here comes
Now,
g5.
rook to the 8th, so you can check from behind. King e6,
Another
king
check.
f7.
What is the purpose here?
Well,
He's not
rook
gaining
e7
anything.
Maybe he wants to stick his rook on e7 instead of f8.
That makes sense. Well,
No,
king
he
e6.
changed his mind.
King
And now
G5.
going forward, that g-pawn looks vulnerable.
Bishop
Stopping the king from
c2.
coming to g6.
No king g6 for you.
Another check,
Check.
and now he's backing up.
Got to go
But
back
no
up.
bishop d4 on tap right now. How does the bishop get to play a target now, hitting the pawn?
Check, driving white's king back, so we'll have bishop d3 to defend the
But
pawn.
g5 and a g6 siding.
Uh-oh.
Oh, g6.
Rook d8 to stop
Ding
any
Loren is
checks.
making progress here.
Big
And now
time.
don't allow bishop d4 ever. How does he get his bishop to this diagonal?
That's the whole point. White desperately needs to put his bishop on the a1. He needs to hit g7.
He needs to bring the king up. King in, right?
That's
okay,
a good start.
that's first step.
Check.
Check. Get back and deal with the mate. And now
You
he
couldn't
can't.
take the pawn on h5 because of rook b8 mate.
What about a rook? What about rook to e7 so you can play king to d? Oh no, king f5 doesn't do it. Whoa! He did it with tactics. He just did it.
Yeah.
He just did it because it was a
Getting-
mate problem. Bishop d6.
Bishop d6
No, bishop
was a
was-
sweet move.
And he could still leave it there. He's looking at this line
because of the back rank mate.
He's going bishop e5.
but he's just going to do it immediately.
But why didn't he go king g5?
I don't know.
He
It
was
looked like it was a
tempted to
good
play king
idea.
G5.
But rook takes
Rook takes his
rook
king,
takes
king
g7,
f8.
king f8 now.
King g5 now.
Oh,
Oh,
trouble for Magnus. Magnus is in big trouble right now. Oh, he can't go back because of rook h7.
Right, but
He couldn't go back because but who's going to stop the g-pawn?
well, does bishop
Here comes the king.
Bishop c4 to stop
It looked
the
almost
G5?
like mate. Oh, how does he
It
stop
just-
this?
Yes, it still feels like it's. But now he's getting his rook behind the G pawn
This
with
is-
rook
This
G1.
is winning
10
completely
seconds
at the
left.
moment. He missed a big win, did Ding Liren, but both sides now with no time on the clock.
They're
Ding
playing on
Liren
their
with only 10
increments.
seconds.
Oh no! Why did he play king to D? King to
And
E8?
here he goes. Another check, forcing the king over. He must be winning directly here, but
I'm
5
not
seconds left.
sure. I'm not sure.
Magnus hesitating.
You can't
What is
hesitate too
what
much.
is the threat? Why
3
does
seconds.
Why is he repeating his Ding Liren?
If you
Why
want-
not just check? And now a waiting
He's
move.
released the king.
3 seconds for Magnus, 2 seconds. Now back to 5 and a check. Now another check. Doesn't another check?
King
dro-
F8, rook to CF2.
Oh man, your next move. 5
Rook
seconds for
F2.
Magnus. Back
Okay, this
again.
could be a 3 second. Oh, he did go for the 3-move repetition with rook E2.
Another check, driving the
King
now
D7.
the king. Now the king is stuck. But how do you get your G pawn forward?
Precisely. And Magnus could even think about rook B2. No. He's just
Back
said,
to
I'm going to
E3.
play
Look,
defensive.
They're fighting with just 9 seconds, 5 seconds total time.
I think it's going to be a draw, guys.
But why? Why doesn't he just move his bishop? Now moving his king.
Check.
Going back again. They're
Now this looks like
repeating.
a repeat.
Okay, now bishop back to d4. He should not want to draw. He is torturing Magnus right now to find the right moves. Magnus down to once. Magnus has lost
Magnus
on
has
time.
flagged.
Magnus has lost on time. Ding Liren pushing him over.
Got it. 12:15.
Wow. Well, those 1 minute, 2 minute things that Magnus took early in the opening, costly, Jennifer.
Wow.
Wow.
Magnus Carlsen, dejected, is now he has to come back to even up the score just to stay alive in the battle for the Sinquefeld Cup title.
And
As
how
Ding
close-
Liren, and that
How
was
close was it?